we're the Furniture Sisters. I'm Janelle.
And I'm Sheila.
And today we're going to show you how to redo kitchen cabinets. Do we use a sprayer? Do we use a paintbrush?
Hey, and if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can see all of our furniture flips.
Sheila wanted to paint her kitchen cabinets white. They're naughty alder wood and they're about 20 years old, but they're in great condition. But she wanted a bright, fresh look with white paint. So painting them in manageable sections seemed like the best idea so the kitchen could be used and not be totally a disaster. We started the project by removing all of the hardware and placing them in a safe place so they didn't get lost. Giving the cabinets a thorough cleaning was the next step. With a green scrubby and a solution of Dawn dishwashing soap and water, we scrubbed and scrubbed the cabinet doors, drawers, and the framework. It's super important to clean well and remove all grease, oils, and grime from the surface so that the new paint will adhere properly. We used clear water to rinse the surface. We also used a product called TSP that you can get at the hardware store to make sure there was no grease left on the cabinets. We rinsed the cabinets multiple times with clear water. After we finished the cleaning, we started the job of filling in all the knots, imperfections, and damage with wood putty because we wanted a smooth painted finish. We let it dry and then added a second coat of putty to the areas that needed a little bit more. We always try to overfill a spot because wood putty shrinks as it dries. When the putty is totally dry, it's time to sand it smooth. We used a surf prep sander with 220 grit sandpaper and sanded all of the putty, as well as giving the doors and drawers a scuff sand. A scuff sand prepares the wood for paint and gives it something to grip onto for better adhesion. It's helpful to rub each spot you are working on with your finger after you've sanded it to feel if it's smooth. This is an important step. It takes a while, but it's so worth it. All of the prep work before painting will help you have a finish that is beautiful and smooth. And just a reminder, wear a mask when you are sanding to help protect you from any of the sanding dust and debris that could get in your lungs. We also scuff sanded the cabinet framework. When the sanding was completed, we vacuumed the sanding dust on all of the surfaces, and then we wiped the cabinets and drawers with a very damp cloth to pick up all of the dust. We also used a tack cloth to remove any particles that were left on the surface. We want an absolutely dust-free surface so the paint will go on smoothly.
All right, guys, it is time to put primer on my cabinet doors. I've been working for a couple weeks getting these things ready. The prep work and getting it ready to paint takes the longest, but we're there. Let me show you what I'm doing. So I'm gonna use this primer, Kilz Max Primer. It's a maximum stain and odor blocker. I'm going to put it on with a foam roller. I'm going to use my Zibra brush to get in these angles here. I've got my cupboard laid out. I'm gonna do the back side first, and then we will flip them. Drawers, more cabinets. I'm using these little triangle things. I bought these to prop up the cabinets. They are specifically designed for cabinets and make it really easy to lift them up.
When applying the primer, I use a combination of the paintbrush and the roller. I use the angled paintbrush to get inside the grooves of the framework of the cabinet doors, and then I'll smooth out on the top of the surface with the foam roller. Rolling the paint makes the process go very quickly, but you do need to be careful that you don't overwork the paint. Once you have rolled a section, do not go back over it. The paint we are using is a self-leveling paint, and so it starts leveling immediately, and if you continue to go over it, you will end up with brush strokes and roll marks. We use 2 coats of primer to seal the knots and any imperfections in the wood to prepare the cabinet doors for the paint to go on. After letting the primer dry overnight, we were ready to get started painting. The paint we are going to use is Sherwin Williams Emerald, and it's in the color Alabaster with a satin finish. The emerald paint is specifically designed for cabinets. They help you have a smooth surface when you're working, very minimal brush strokes, and very minimal roller marks. We are using the same process that we used to put the primer on. We're using our square Zibra brush and also a foam roller. So in combination with those 2 tools, we are able to get a very smooth surface. We are going to paint the back side first, and we will let that dry, and then we will flip it over and do the front of the cupboards. Just a reminder that this paint is self-leveling, so you need to be careful that you don't overwork it. Once you've worked and rolled on a spot, then you need to let it go, and you can catch a mistake or something that you've missed on the second coat. And you'll also notice there are knots on the back of these cabinet doors that were not filled in. Since you can't see that, we felt that it just wasn't worth the extra work to fill in all of those knots. I'm using a foam roller to roll the top. And this paint, you want to not overwork it. It is self-leveling, so it's going to do the job for you and self-level, but you can't overwork it. It starts self-leveling as soon as you put it on. This will be my last pass through. And come down here and work on the bottom half. I don't want to press too hard when I'm going along the edge because I don't want the paint to pull up on the top. Making progress, guys. Pulling the tape off the floor. After the first coat of paint has thoroughly dried, we are ready for the second coat of paint, and we will put it on exactly the same way. The cupboards are officially painted. They've been drying. They need to cure for about 7 days, but I'm gonna go ahead and get them hung because I can take care of them while they're hung and not nick them up and abuse them. This is the map that I made of my cupboards, and so I would know the exact door and where it goes and make my life easy instead of having to play musical doors. On the inside of the door, I wrote down the number in the hinge. So it'll be really easy to hang them back up.
All right, progress shot. Sheila has been busy painting like a mad woman, getting ready for Thanksgiving. She painted 2 coats.
Primer and 2 coats of paint.
Primer and, so basically 3 coats paint. And now she's just putting the hardware back on. This is good. All right, we've got the cabinets painted. They're lovely. They used to have knotty pine, remember? Sheila has filled all of those in with putty, sanded, primed, and 2 coats of paint. Two coats of paint. This is Alabaster White by Sherwin Williams. And what's the sheen?
Satin.
Satin. And it's specific kitchen cabinet paint, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's self-leveling, which is what you want so that you can get a really smooth finish.
Gosh, Sheila, you're a hard worker. All right, Sheila's putting in the cabinet doors. Standing on her. Standing on her.
Here we go. Here we go. This is cabinet number 11.
Oh gosh.
Woohoo!
Bravo, bravo.
Yay, cabinet number 11. The cabinets are finished. The kitchen is finished, and we think it looks amazing. The paint that we use by Sherwin Williams does not require a top coat, and that is a really good thing when you're using white paint, because a polyurethane can actually yellow your white paint and make it look dirty and yellow. So we wanted to keep it bright, white, and fresh. Thanks for joining us for this tutorial on how to paint your kitchen cabinets. If you liked this and would like to see more, go ahead and subscribe to the Furniture Sisters, and you'll see all sorts of tutorials on how to refinish furniture and DIY projects.